Have you ever received a letter from your state government labeled as a compliance notices? If so, you might have wondered what it means and what you need to do next. In this video, we'll break down exactly what a compliance notice is, why you might receive one, and what steps you should take if you do. Understanding compliance notices is crucial for both individuals and businesses, as these documents often relate to important legal or regulatory requirements. Let's start by exploring the basics of what a compliance notice from the state actually is and why it matters. A compliance notice is an official communication sent by a state agency or authority. Its purpose is to inform you that you must take certain actions to comply with state laws or regulations. These notices can cover a wide range of topics, from business licensing and tax filings to health and safety standards. The notice will typically outline what requirement has not been met, what actions are needed to resolve the issue, and the deadline for compliance. Receiving a compliance notice does not necessarily mean you are in trouble, but it does mean you need to pay attention and act promptly. States issue compliance notices to ensure that individuals and organizations are following the rules and regulations set forth by law. These notices serve as a formal reminder or warning that something needs to be corrected or updated. For example, if a business fails to renew its license on time, the state may send a compliance notice to prompt action. The goal is not to punish, but to encourage compliance and maintain order. By sending these notices, the state helps prevent more serious legal consequences down the road. There are several common reasons why you might receive a compliance notice from the state. These include missing a filing deadline, failing to renew a business license, not submitting required documents, or not meeting health and safety standards. Sometimes, compliance notices are triggered by routine audits or reviews. It's important to read the notice carefully to understand the specific issue and what is required of you. Ignoring these notices can lead to penalties, fines, or even suspension of business operations. Compliance notices are typically sent by state agencies responsible for regulating specific areas. For businesses, this might be the Secretary of State, Department of Revenue, or Department of Health. For individuals, it could be agencies related to taxes, professional licensing, or public health. Each agency has its own procedures and requirements, so the content and format of compliance notices can vary. Regardless of the sender, the purpose remains the same: to inform you of a compliance issue and guide you toward resolution. A typical compliance notice will include several key pieces of information. First, it will identify the specific law or regulation that applies. Next, it will describe the issue or deficiency that needs to be addressed. The notice will also provide instructions on how to correct the problem, a deadline for compliance, and contact information for questions or appeals. Some notices may include forms or links to online resources to help you complete the required actions. When you receive a compliance notice, it's important to read it thoroughly. Start by identifying the sender and the reason for the notice. Look for deadlines and required actions. Pay attention to any forms or documents you need to submit. If you're unsure about any part of the notice, use the contact information provided to ask for clarification. Taking the time to understand the notice can help you avoid unnecessary stress and ensure you respond appropriately. Upon receiving a compliance notice, your first step should be to review the document carefully. Make note of any deadlines and required actions. Gather any necessary documents or information you'll need to respond. If the notice is unclear, don't hesitate to reach out to the issuing agency for guidance. Acting quickly can help you resolve the issue before it escalates. Remember, compliance notices are time-sensitive, so prompt attention is key. Often, compliance notices will ask you to provide specific documents or information. This could include proof of payment, updated licenses, or completed forms. Start by making a checklist of what's needed. Collect all relevant paperwork and double-check for accuracy. Submitting complete and accurate information the first time can help avoid delays or further notices. If you're missing something, contact the agency to ask about acceptable alternatives or extensions. Once you've gathered the necessary information, it's time to respond to the compliance notice. Follow the instructions provided, whether that means submitting documents online, mailing forms, or making a payment. Be sure to keep copies of everything you send for your records. If the notice allows for an appeal or explanation, include any supporting evidence or statements. Timely and complete responses are the best way to resolve compliance issues efficiently. Compliance notices almost always include a deadline for taking action. Missing this deadline can lead to penalties or further enforcement actions. If you need more time, check the notice for instructions on requesting an extension. Some agencies are willing to grant extensions if you communicate early and provide a valid reason. Don't wait until the last minute. Reach out as soon as you realize you need more time. Ignoring a compliance notice can have serious consequences. Depending on the issue, you could face fines, penalties, suspension of licenses, or even legal action. For businesses, non-compliance can mean losing the right to operate. For individuals, it could affect your professional standing or result in additional fees. It's always better to address compliance notices promptly to avoid these negative outcomes. If you believe a compliance notice was issued in error, most states provide a process for appeal. The notice should include instructions on how to file an appeal or request a review. Be sure to gather any evidence or documentation that supports your case. Submit your appeal within the specified time frame to ensure it's considered. While the appeal is pending, continue to comply with any requirements that are not in dispute. Good record keeping is essential when dealing with compliance notices. Keep copies of all correspondence, forms, and supporting documents. Organize them by date and type for easy reference. This will help you respond to future notices more efficiently and provide proof of compliance if questions arise. Digital records are especially helpful, as they can be backed up and accessed quickly. When responding to compliance notices, there are a few common mistakes to watch out for. Don't ignore the notice or delay your response. Avoid submitting incomplete or inaccurate information. Make sure you follow all instructions carefully and meet all deadlines. If you're unsure about something, ask for clarification rather than guessing. Taking these precautions can help you avoid unnecessary complications. For businesses, compliance notices are especially important. They can relate to business licenses, tax filings, employment regulations, or health and safety standards. Failing to respond can result in fines or even closure. Business owners should set up systems to monitor for notices and ensure timely responses. Assigning responsibility to a specific person or department can help prevent important communications from being overlooked. Individuals can also receive compliance notices, often related to taxes, professional licenses, or public health requirements. It's important to treat these notices with the same seriousness as business notices. Respond promptly, provide any requested information, and keep records of your correspondence. If you're unsure about the requirements, seek advice from a professional or contact the issuing agency directly. Compliance notices can be sent electronically or by mail. Many states are moving toward electronic notifications for faster delivery and easier tracking. Be sure to check your email and online accounts regularly if you have opted in for electronic notices. Regardless of the format, the requirements and deadlines are the same. Always keep copies of electronic notices, just as you would with paper documents. If you have questions about a compliance notice, the best course of action is to contact the issuing agency directly. Use the phone number, email, or website listed on the notice. Be prepared to provide your case or reference number and have your documents handy. Most agencies are willing to help clarify requirements and guide you through the process. Clear communication can help resolve issues quickly and efficiently. Sometimes, compliance notices can be complex or confusing. In these cases, it may be helpful to consult with a lawyer, accountant, or other professional. They can help you understand your obligations, prepare your response, and avoid costly mistakes. Professional advice is especially valuable for businesses or individuals facing significant penalties or legal action. Don't hesitate to seek help if you need it. Let's look at a few examples of compliance notices. One common example is a notice to renew a business license. Another might be a reminder to file an annual report or pay a tax. Health and safety compliance notices may require you to fix a violation or submit proof of training. Each notice will specify what needs to be done and by when. Reviewing real examples can help you understand what to expect. Imagine receiving a compliance notice that says your business license has expired. The notice will state the law requiring renewal, the date your license expired, and the steps to renew. It will also include a deadline and contact information for questions. By breaking down the notice into its parts, you can see exactly what's required and how to respond. This approach works for any type of compliance notice. Compliance notices often use formal or legal language that can be difficult to understand. If you come across unfamiliar terms, look them up or ask for clarification. Key terms might include statute, regulation, deficiency, or remedy. Understanding the language used in the notice will help you respond correctly and avoid confusion. Don't be afraid to seek help if you need it. Many state agencies provide online resources to help you understand and respond to compliance notices. These might include FAQs, instructional videos, or downloadable forms. Take advantage of these resources to make the process easier. Some agencies also offer online portals where you can submit documents, track your case, or communicate with staff. Using these tools can save you time and reduce the risk of errors. After you respond to a compliance notice, it's important to track your status. Some agencies will send a confirmation when your issue is resolved. Others may require you to check online or call for updates. Keep a record of your submission and any follow-up communications. This will help you prove compliance if questions arise in the future. If you disagree with the compliance notice, don't ignore it. Instead, follow the appeal or dispute process outlined in the notice. Provide any evidence or documentation that supports your position. Communicate clearly and professionally with the agency. Even if you disagree, it's important to respond within the required timeframe to protect your rights and avoid penalties. Non-compliance with state requirements can result in a range of penalties. These might include monetary fines, suspension or revocation of licenses, or even legal action. The severity of the penalty usually depends on the nature of the violation and whether it's a repeat offense. Understanding the potential consequences can motivate you to respond promptly and avoid further issues. The best way to avoid compliance notices is to stay organized and proactive. Set reminders for important deadlines, keep your records up to date, and review state requirements regularly. For businesses, consider assigning compliance responsibilities to a specific team member. For individuals, keep a checklist of renewal dates and required filings. Staying ahead of deadlines can save you time and stress. Technology can be a powerful tool for managing compliance. Many agencies now offer online portals for submitting documents and tracking status. Businesses can use compliance management software to automate reminders and store records. Even individuals can benefit from calendar apps and digital filing systems. Embracing technology can make compliance easier and more efficient. Many compliance requirements are annual, such as business, license renewals, or tax filings. Mark these dates on your calendar and set reminders well in advance. Some states send courtesy reminders, but it's ultimately your responsibility to comply. Staying on top of annual requirements can help you avoid last-minute stress and prevent compliance notices from arriving in the first place. Some compliance notices relate specifically to health and safety regulations. These might require you to correct a violation, submit proof of training, or implement new procedures. Health and safety compliance is especially important for businesses in regulated industries, such as food service or healthcare. Promptly addressing these notices helps protect your employees, customers, and reputation. Tax compliance notices are another common type. These may inform you of missing filings, unpaid taxes, or discrepancies in your returns. Responding quickly can help you avoid penalties and interest charges. If you're unsure about your tax obligations, consult a tax professional or contact the state tax agency for guidance. Keeping good records is especially important for tax compliance. Professionals such as doctors, lawyers, and contractors may receive compliance notices related to their licenses. These notices might require proof of continuing education, renewal applications, or updated contact information. Failing to respond can result in suspension or loss of your license. Stay proactive by tracking renewal dates and keeping your credentials up to date. Some compliance notices relate to environmental regulations, such as waste disposal, emissions, or water usage. These are especially relevant for businesses in manufacturing, construction, or agriculture. Environmental compliance helps protect natural resources and avoid costly fines. If you receive an environmental compliance notice, review the requirements carefully and consult with experts if needed. Employment-related compliance notices may address issues such as wage laws, workplace safety, or employee benefits. These notices are important for both employers and employees. Failing to comply can result in penalties or lawsuits. Employers should stay informed about labor laws and maintain accurate records to respond to any notices promptly. Staying informed about state requirements is key to avoiding compliance issues. Subscribe to agency newsletters, check official websites regularly, and attend informational webinars if available. For businesses, joining industry associations can provide valuable updates and resources. Being proactive helps you stay ahead of changes and avoid surprises. Larger organizations often have compliance officers or departments dedicated to managing regulatory requirements. These professionals monitor for compliance notices, coordinate responses, and ensure the organization stays in good standing. Even small businesses can benefit from assigning someone to oversee compliance. Having a dedicated point of contact streamlines the process and reduces the risk of missed deadlines. Unfortunately, some scammers send fake compliance notices to trick individuals or businesses into paying unnecessary fees. Always verify the sender before responding or making payments. Check the agency's official website or contact them directly using published contact information. Be wary of notices that demand immediate payment or threaten severe penalties without proper documentation. If you suspect a compliance notice is a scam, report it to your state's Consumer Protection Agency or Attorney General's office. Provide copies of the notice and any related communications. Reporting scams helps protect others and allows authorities to investigate and take action. Always use official channels to verify and report suspicious notices. To sum up, a compliance notice from the state is an official request to address a legal or regulatory issue. Read the notice carefully, respond promptly, and keep good records. Don't ignore compliance notices, and seek help if you're unsure about what to do. Staying organized and proactive is the best way to avoid problems and keep your affairs in good standing with the state. If you want to learn more about compliance notices and state regulations, visit your state's official website or contact the relevant agency. Many agencies offer guides, FAQs, and contact information for further assistance. Staying informed and using available resources can help you navigate compliance issues with confidence. Compliance notices are a normal part of interacting with state agencies, whether you're a business owner or an individual. By understanding what these notices mean and how to respond, you can avoid unnecessary stress and keep your affairs in order. Remember, the goal of compliance is to ensure everyone follows the rules and maintains a fair, safe, and orderly society. Here's a quick checklist to help you handle compliance notices. Read the notice thoroughly, note all deadlines, gather required documents, respond as instructed, keep copies of everything, and follow up if you don't receive confirmation. If you need help, contact the agency or a professional. This checklist can help you stay organized and ensure you don't miss any important steps. Some common questions about compliance notices include, what if I lose the notice? Can I get an extension? What happens if I make a mistake in my response? Most agencies are willing to work with you if you communicate openly and promptly. Always keep a backup of your notices and reach out for help if you're unsure. In conclusion, receiving a compliance notice from the state is not something to fear, but it does require your attention. By understanding what these notices mean and following the steps outlined in this video, you can handle them confidently and efficiently. Stay organized, respond promptly, and seek help when needed. With the right approach, compliance notices become manageable and routine.